your testimony here today and invite another virtual testifier, Ramia Swamy from Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence, to testify.
Hi, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. Good morning, Chairs Cronin and Cahill and distinguished members of the committee. My name is Ramia Swamy, and I'm Policy Counsel at the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today in support of H2672. Negligence is a fundamental civil justice principle. It requires us all to use reasonable care to prevent foreseeable harm and holds us accountable when we don't. That is why companies that sell dangerous cars, rush unsafe planes into service, or induce doctors to prescribe deadly drugs all face consequences. Gun manufacturers, distributors, and dealers who recklessly feed the criminal gun market should face those consequences too. As we've heard from earlier testimony today, not only is PLACA a barrier to justice for victims, but it has also emboldened the gun industry to put profits over people. H2672 rectifies this injustice by creating a law that would fit within the requirements of one of the 6 exceptions to PLACA and enables the public or the Attorney General to hold gun industry actors accountable for their own misconduct. I want to be clear. This bill does not create strict liability or guarantee a favorable judgment and will not allow frivolous lawsuits to proceed. Rather, it will ensure that the gun industry is treated like and is subject to the same measures and mechanisms of accountability as every other industry in the country, because no industry should be above the law. Expanding pathways to civil liability within the state will not only provide civil justice to victims, survivors, and entire communities, but will also incentivize gun industry members to engage in reasonable and safe business practices, which will prevent gun violence before it happens and curb the flow of crime guns into communities that are disproportionately impacted by trafficked firearms. The latest available data from the ATF reveals that just 2.7% of dealers accounted for over 71% of crime gun traces across the country. Gun dealers that supply these crime guns typically sit outside of communities of color where the firearms are recovered, in less diverse and more affluent suburbs. Residents of these communities suffer from the chronic stress of daily interpersonal gun violence and the negative impacts on their community's economic prosperity without recourse or compensation, while irresponsible gun dealers face no consequences. The implications of this lack of accountability cannot be overstated. While gun violence touches Americans across the country, it disproportionately impacts communities of color. Approximately 80% of America's gun deaths occur in urban areas with large minority populations. Black Americans are 11 more times likely than their white peers to be the victim of firearm homicide, and this problem is exacerbated for Black males who lose 4 years in life expectancy on the basis of gun violence alone. Data from the CDC indicates that Black male young adults in Massachusetts are 25.9 times more likely to be the victims of firearm homicide than their white counterparts. When the gun industry members irresponsibly, negligently, or recklessly manufacture, sell, or market firearms, they should be held accountable. This bill will simply ensure that that path is possible to the people of Massachusetts. I respectfully urge a favorable report on H2672. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the committee?
Thank you, Chair. Miss, I think you're Brady. Is that the name?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Where are you based out of?
I'm based out of New York, but Brady is a national gun violence prevention organization.
All right, and then I saw the data of ATF. It was really quick, but I think I got it. 2.7% of the dealers cause 71% of the problems. How many of those are in Massachusetts?
So we have data from EOPS, a 2022 crime gun trace report that actually showed that of the 329 dealers in Massachusetts at that time that were supplying crime guns that were sourced in Massachusetts and then also recovered, 4 of the dealers in Massachusetts were responsible for 25% of the problem. So I can send you links to that report if you would like to read it, and I'm definitely happy to set up a conversation with you and our crime guns team to discuss further.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be really quick, because as we're going through these, I do think, and I appreciate your speaking about the violence that occurs in black deaths that occur and things of that nature, but really, it comes down to, as we keep pushing this back up to manufacturers, you talk a lot about the dealers who are violating the law, or what would be the law. But I really am having a problem understanding that we want to go after the manufacturer for the way somebody uses their product. And that's the biggest difficulty that I have here. We don't do that in so many other industries. Again, if somebody takes a car and drives through a crowd of people, which we have seen, we don't sue Ford. We don't sue Chrysler for that. We prosecute the crimes where they occur. I just have a problem as we kind of go down this direction of talking about illegal gun possession and violence that occurs and trying to blame those who are acting legally. And yeah, as we kind of keep going down this, that's just the problem that I'm having in this. I just wanted to make a statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony today. We're very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is to invite an in-person panel to testify on H2589, H2590, and H2592. Mike Harris, James Wallace, John Green, the Gun Owners Action League.
Starting?
If you'd like to.
Folks, thanks for having us here today. My name is John Green. I'm Goals Director of Education and Training. I've been with Goals since 1999 full-time. I'd like to start off with a simple request. Please stop referring to it as gun violence. There is no such thing as gun violence. If there were, there would also have to be car and truck violence, knife violence, medicine violence. Let's admit to the fact. Violence perpetrated with a gun, that is what it is called, is making smart people sound ignorant when you use such terminology. Because of Chapter 135, 74 young athletes from New Hampshire were unable to participate in the Massachusetts State Shotgun Championships earlier this year. We have been waiting 394 days for the Colonel of the State Police to provide a list of states that have similar requirements to our hunting license and our FID cards. What you have done, those of you that voted for Chapter 135, is what we refer to as seagull management. You flow over, you drop this on good, hardworking, lawful citizens, and you had zero interaction with Firearms Records Bureau, folks from Massachusetts State Police, Department of Public Health. Representative Linsky, I am looking at you. You had it all wrong. You had it all wrong, right? This is unfair to the people that are trying to be lawful gun owners in the state. I don't believe that we can possibly be lawful because of Chapter 135. I respectfully request that you repeal it.
Hey everyone, Mike Harris. I also work for Goal. Happy Halloween, I guess. Last session, this hearing happened a couple days after Thanksgiving, so I guess it's just a tradition that these kind of fall on a holiday. Chapter 135 is everything this legislature promised it wouldn't be. Instead of streamlining licensing and ensuring the laws were easier to follow, we just got more of the same. It's restrictive, confusing, disorganized, vindictive, difficult to follow, difficult to understand. Once again, it's seemingly just a series of band-aids to solve a bunch of non-existent problems. We've gotten no advice from state agencies since last year, interpreting anything like hunting issues or grandfathering dates, putting responsible gun owners at risk of prosecution. Law also discourages gun owners who might be going through a difficult time from seeking the help they might need for fear of losing their constitutional rights. The increased list of red flag reporters makes it almost impossible for folks going through a difficult time to talk to anyone who might be able to help them. And the inability to give your guns to a friend for safekeeping while seeking help for more than 6 days without reporting it as an official transaction makes it impossible for those folks to even make the simplest move toward protecting their own safety for fear of losing their personal property. It just feels vindictive and tone deaf. Representative Linsky, when you were lecturing your colleague earlier, you mentioned that Chapter 135 represents 10 years of work. Does that mean that the 2014 bill was no good? It wasn't any good? And you guys seem to do these every 10 years, so does that mean we'll see you here in 2034 also? Because we saw you in 2004 before that. So, but I guess if that does happen, we'll be here in 2035. And, yeah. But no, it's just more chipping away at civil liberties piece by piece as the Overton window shifts. And we're just here to say that we're tired for being blamed for the actions of criminals. And we hope Chapter 135 gets repealed one way or another.
I heard a statement earlier that the sky isn't falling. We are way beyond the sky falling. You know, first week in December will mark 25 years that I've had the privilege to represent the Second Amendment community, which now equals 10% of the population of this state. Since Chapter 135 was passed into law with virtually no daylight exposed to it, because the language wasn't released until Wednesday night and on Thursday, Goal has had to shift from one of the premier advocacy organizations to an organization that now focuses on trying to keep lawful citizens out of prison. I'd like you to remember, as you move forward with some of this stuff, one question and one term. When our members, or gun owners, period, call the state and ask them very specific questions because they're trying to comply with something you cannot comply with, the state tells them they have to call an attorney. Why? Because over a year later, there is no one, not one person in this state that can explain the laws. That's unconscionable. When they do get to call an attorney, and here's the question I want you to remember. Most of the attorneys now ask them, what's your risk tolerance? Because the attorneys can't answer the questions. What's your risk tolerance? Can you imagine that question ever being applied to another civil right anywhere in this country? No. The laws are so bad and so oppressive. I'm telling you right now, eventually in history, Chapter 135 will go down in history as one of the worst anti-civil rights pieces of legislation in modern U.S. history. Period. % of your population now, we refer to ourselves as felons in waiting. You cannot comply with these laws. Our organization, John Green here, can cite you chapter and verse, but he can't tell you what it says or what it means. We teach a 3-hour class on these new gun laws, and I can't tell you how many times he's taught this. And more often than not, when people have questions, the answer is, hell if I know. What's your risk tolerance? Never. And if he's still up behind me, Kyle Collada is here, and bear with me for a second. The laws of this state, this man had no criminal record, Air Force veteran, CDL truck driver. He was exercising a civil right. He was arrested, he was declared a dangerous individual, and he was detained unconstitutionally for 4 months The laws are destroying lives. They're destroying lives. And if I could ask a favor, if Kyle's still back behind me, that before you all leave, you go meet Kyle and you beg his forgiveness for what this state has done to him and his fiancée, Saranda.
Yeah, Representative.
I'd ask the chair to instruct anyone testifying to keep personal comments out of their testimony, or gestures, or mouthing words at me.
Understood. Look, this is a issue where people on both sides are extremely passionate, and I would respectfully request for people from both sides to not be personal in their testimony. Thank you. Any questions from the committee?
No.
No. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your testimony.
Okay, I'm having like flashbacks to public speaking class in college. Okay, good afternoon and thank you. Oh, can you hear me now? Okay. Good afternoon, thank you for allowing me to speak today. I hope everyone here listens not just with your ears, but with your hearts. Because behind every opinion on this issue is a real person, a real story, and a real desire to feel safe. I didn't grow up around guns. My parents had a couple, but they were somehow something we knew just not to touch. To me, firearms were just something I saw on TV. Bang, bang, pow, pow. It wasn't until Christmas of 2020 that my mom surprised my sister and me with our firearms. She said, "You both have homes now. It's time you learn to protect them." My first gun was a pink .22, and when she took me to the range, I hit the target for the very first day. That was it. I was hooked. From there, I got my LTC. I bought my first few firearms, and I started learning. What I found wasn't just a hobby, it was a community. People from every background came together to teach, support, and empower each other. I especially found pride in helping other women learn to shoot safely and confidently. I own more firearms than my Duck Dynasty looking husband, and yes, most of them are pink. But then chapter 135 came along, and suddenly something that brought so much joy and connection started to feel uncertain and restricted. These new laws have hurt lawful, responsible residents like me, while doing nothing to stop those who already break the law. Criminals aren't following these rules. We are, and we're the ones paying the price. We also know that in a horrific situation like a mass shooting, a lawful gun owner might risk being mistaken for the bad guy. We accept that. We train for that, because if it means saving innocent lives, many of us would still step forward, even knowing the personal risk. That's not reckless, that's responsibility. There are real safety tools I support: training, safe storage, and sensible enforcement. But there are parts of these laws that punish hobbyists, competitors, and everyday people trying to do things the right way. The red flag system has good intentions, but it creates fear. Fear that if we speak out about mental health, we'll lose our rights overnight. I ask again that lawmakers refocus attention and resources where they truly matter. Our fellow Second Amendment supporters and I struggle to understand why so much effort goes in the wrong direction, punishing the responsible instead of stopping the criminal. We also understand that some of these laws are passed even though everyone knows they'll be overturned, wasting taxpayer money and turning good law-abiding citizens into accidental felons because their laws are so unclear. We want balance. We want real safety. We want to work with our leaders and not against them to protect both our communities and our freedoms. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Is Richard Howell here? Richard Howell? Studley. My apologies.
That's okay. Poor handwriting. I don't have anything written. I wasn't planning on testifying. But it's my right and it's my duty. My name is Carrie Studley. I'm 59 years old. I'm from Plymouth, Mass., America's hometown. I'm a veteran of the 772 MP Company out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. I wrote that check to defend our rights, and I am asking you all, to do the same. We have the right to defend ourselves. Do not take that from us. As a woman, as someone who's been assaulted multiple times, more times than every one of you up there, as a nurse, why would you take women's ability, vulnerable people's ability, older people's ability to defend themselves? You say Boston is one of the safest cities. It's not. It's really not. If it was, we wouldn't need so many gun laws. And the gun laws that you have all passed are making us more unsafe. I want you to just put yourself in this position. Do you have daughters? Your phone rings. It's your daughter. She's walking through the woods down a trail because she likes to walk. There's a questionable man following her. He's picking up speed. Her heart starts to pound. Do you want her armed or do you want her unarmed? I know when I'm out there, I prefer to have the right to protect myself. And when I'm out there and I don't, it's scary. It is really scary. And I don't feel protected by the laws that have been passed in this state because they're not being enforced. How many times has Bartley Fox been enforced? You're going after the wrong people. Go after the criminals. Keep them behind bars. Keep me safe. Keep everybody else that's vulnerable out there safe. We shouldn't live in fear. We have the right to protect ourselves, and you need to stop infringing on it. How can you look at citizens and tell us you're keeping us safe when the criminals are being let back out on the streets by the hundreds now, but we're supposed to feel safer? Why do you think so many women and citizens are trying to go out and arm themselves? It's not because we feel safe. It's not because we live in the safest city or the safest state. If we felt that way, why are so many trying to exercise their rights? And why are you making it so difficult for us to do that? You are up there to work for us and to protect us. I did that when I signed to put my life in danger and to protect all of you and your right to be up there. So I'm asking you, do the same for me and do the same for us. Repeal 135.
Representative Zaros?
Yes, thank you, sir. I want to commend you for your comments and your service to our country as military and as a nurse. I'm not a supporter of the bill, and I voted against it. But it is the law now, and I'm asking you, part of the bill that bothered me the most at the time was creating safe zones, right? Because people won't have guns, and it's safer there. Something that you said struck me. Do you feel that's true, and what do you think about just that part?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Basically, being a woman who served our country, being a nurse, you said you don't feel safe. One of the things we passed was creating safe zones, so you
Those
would
aren't
be
safe
safe.
zones.
So I'm asking you, do you feel that way?
No, I feel less unsafe when I am not able to carry in certain places because that ability and that right has been removed. So I am less safe under Chapter 135.
But the law says no one can have a gun there, so you're supposed to be safer.
The only ones safer are the criminals because now I can't defend myself against them.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? I'm seeing none. Thank you for your testimony. John DeNicola. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name.
Afternoon. My name is John DeNicola, angry American. I'm a little put out by some of the stuff I'm hearing here. We got minority report type laws coming into effect where we're gonna just guess and wish and hope that somebody doesn't break the law. And you know, it's funny because you guys seem to think that you can get into the mind of somebody else and decide we're gonna pass this law because they might do it. In 2023, I was here, and some of you members on this board, when you decided to go through with this on 4319, listened to the testimony of a woman from Moms Demand Action who testified that she violated federal law. And not one of you batted an eyelash, not one of you called it out for what it was, which was a violation of the law, but you allowed her to testify and to pass this abortion of a bill. You guys are a disgrace. These people, this young lady here, Kyle, they served to protect our rights. And what you folks did here by passing 135 is a slap in the face to every American that put on a uniform and died for it. You all, every one of you that put this through should be ashamed. You should turn around and resign today. You're garbage, absolute trash. And I can't believe we have to come here and explain that our rights aren't up for sale for anybody. Not Bloomberg, not Soros, not Giffords. We are not their slave. You folks are supposed to be working for us, and you're pissed all over us. Every chance you get, you do it. Every time we turn around, you turn around and you take more and more and more. It's never enough. When is it going to end? Is it going to end when you decide to get rid of the Second Amendment? It's funny. Words have meanings. You know, some of you sit here and go, well, I go and I argue against in the Mass Supreme Court. Well, sir, I ask you, what does the word shall mean in the legal sense? It means must. Must not be infringed, but yet you did it. Every one of you. And you do it daily. You violate your oath of office daily. I can't believe that you guys are sitting here and acting like what you did was righteous and not. And then you turn around and you have the nerve to go, well, just sue us. Take it to the courts. Let them decide. They already decided it. And you know, it's funny because the courts don't decide law. They codify our rights. It's a disgrace that I have to explain it to you because I'm not a lawyer. I can't believe that we are here dealing with this. Again, repeal these laws. They're not saving anybody. And let me tell you something else. I've been watching the shootings that have been going on since January in Boston. And there's a gentleman that has a YouTube channel that shows them. Every other night there are shootings in Boston. But you guys don't want to talk about that, do you? You don't want to talk about the fact that the criminals are the ones that are doing it. You don't want to talk about the fact that they're the ones that are violating the law. And you're okay with that. But you'd rather restrict the rights of free people. Disgraceful. Every one of you. Absolutely disgraceful.
John, you are over your time, and I want to thank you for your testimony. I appreciate it.
Any questions?
Any questions from the committee? I'm seeing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
tell you. Today is Veterans Day. This was shot about a week ago, maybe a little bit more. I just wanted to say thank you to all the veterans who signed on the dotted line to serve, for those that gave their lives so that I could speak the way that I spoke in this hearing. Dad, love you. Miss you. He's the reason why he made that sacrifice. And for all those that did, and for all those that died, they're the reason why we do what we do. And thank you all. I appreciate you.